this right here, this show, this is why I fucking love pro wrestling. Hello and welcome to FCTR. I am New McQuaid, and today we are talking about Burning Heart Pro Wrestling Championship Weekender Night 2, where we are crowning the inaugural Burning Heart World Champion. Now, I was fortunate enough to attend the event. Hopefully you've checked out my review for Night 1. If you've not, what are you doing? Check it out and, catch up on all the deets there, all the good juicy details, and then come back and find out what happened on Night 2, or save yourself, because I believe these should be airing, if you're in the UK, on Extreme Sports channel. I don't know the channel number, but it'll be somewhere above my face. So just click on to give me the views. Give me the views. And yeah, if you don't want spoilers, then yeah, because I would highly recommend you check out that show. Spoiler alert. I'll put it above my face. I highly recommend you check out this show because it's awesome. And if you want to know what happens, if you were there, stick around and we'll talk about all the good stuff, like why this show was awesome. But before we dive into that, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below, and I'll try and apply to every single one of them as we dive into this. So Burning Heart Pro Wrestling, catch up. I've been a fan for a while. I went to their first show at the Liverpool Olympia and I checked out their Weekender. I got myself tickets. I went down to Liverpool. Awesome show. Not last night, because I'm recording this on Monday, 2 nights ago. Awesome show last night in Manchester. It was at the O2 Academy. Never been to a show. I've been to a gig at the O2 Academy, the one that we were in, Academy 2. Never been to a wrestling show there. And let's talk about that first. I loved the vibe. The vibe was like, it was really like the Liverpool Olympia is very big. It's like an amphitheatre kind of thing. The Academy 2's relatively small. Like, I've been to a wrestling show at the Ritz. It feels smaller than the Ritz. So it's really enclosed. But the fans that were in there were loud throughout. And I think just the acoustics and everything made everything sound insanely loud and insanely hot throughout the night. So in this video, I'm going to talk about every match, every angle, everything that happened on Burning Heart Pro Wrestling Weekender Night 2. But my overall thoughts on the show were, this was just so good. It was just full of incredible wrestling and incredible stories told within matches. I think that's what I love the most about this show, is every match had its own little story, had its own little thing that it would play with, and that to me was why I loved this. Like, there weren't many angles, there weren't many promos. This was all just in-ring storytelling, and you can take away from that what you like. I took away a lot from it because I find the in-ring storytelling really fulfilling, and seeing people targeting joints. Maybe they got injured earlier, maybe they're struggling to hit a move, something like that. I took away so much from this show in that regard, and that is why it hit so much for me and is one of my favourite shows of the year. So we beat around the bush for a long time now, so shall we just talk about the matches, starting with the opening match, which was a quarter-final match in the Burning Heart Pro Wrestling World Championship Tournament, and that was Mark Haskins taking on Trent, a rematch from the first ever Burning Heart show that I went to. This was my match of the night. I thought this match was so good, like so good, that I thought it was better than the first one that they had. I thought it told a great story. I thought the in-ring action was stellar. This was a perfect wrestling match, and what I loved about it the most is it just got the Brit Rest feels. Like, everyone was electric for this. There were some insane spots here, but the storytelling within this match was Mark Haskins selling his leg and going after the arm of Trent, and this all sort of started when they were brawling around the outside. They were doing chops galore on the outside, sitting people down, chopping them. It was really fun to watch. But then there was a barricade, like a metal barricade to my right, that was right there, and Trent's arm got thrown into that. He also missed a chop on Mark Haskins and clocked his hand on the ring post, which made a sickening sound. Mark Haskins ran and went for a knee strike on Trent as he was leaning up against the barricade and clocked his knee as Trent moved out of the way. So then you've got one with an injured leg and one with an injured hand, and that was sort of how it played out, and I really, really like that. It was simple, perfect storytelling, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mark Haskins was selling the same leg that Lykos targeted in the night before, so that leg might have already been giving him issues, which was really, really cool. I like those details carrying across. But my favourite spot of the match was, and I was like eye level for this, was Trent hitting a pile driver on the apron, which looked nasty. Absolutely disgusting looking pile driver. And he gets Mark Haskins in the ring for a near fall. They're trading strikes back and forth. He's trying to hit. Trent never seems to hit the bitter end. He always tries to hit the bitter end, but he never does. And ultimately, it was Mark Haskins who picked up the win after a huge heated exchange with great strikes, his thing where he like 619s out of the ring, then comes back and hits a clothesline, looks amazing, and he hits his finisher, like the pump handle driver, for the win. Mark Haskins advanced to the final. I think the correct decision, because Mark Haskins is one of the best wrestlers in the world right now, and probably the most underrated. This was an absolute banger of a match, and one you should definitely go out of your way to see. Then we got the next match in the Burning Heart Pro Wrestling World Championship tournament as Ethan Allen took on Donovan Dijak. I love this match for many reasons whatsoever. So I was fortunate enough to meet Dijak. He was a lovely guy. He switched something in this match. Like, I have not seen Donovan Dijak be this aggressive and this sort of mean and nasty. He destroyed Ethan Allen all over the place. This match was like 90% Donovan Dijak just destroying Ethan Allen. He like wrangled him in the corner. He goes outside, throws him into a load of chairs. Chairs are everywhere. Back in the ring, hitting huge slams, hitting huge chops, elbow strikes to the back. Ethan Allen was destroyed in this match, and he sold it incredibly well. He was so good at being an underdog babyface and getting sort of organic reactions from the crowd. Yes, we're in Manchester, but Ethan Allen was like, I think everyone's pick to win here, and he was just getting put through the ringer with chop after strike after slam, everything. And he would make these comebacks. He'd get a brief glimpse of offense, but Dijak would just shut him down. Dijak was really good in this match as well. He was no slouch. He was like completely a good guy in Liverpool, but he just switched something here, and he was like, you know what, hometown boy, I'm going to destroy him. And he did, as well as some chairs. And I really liked that this was like just a mauling. This was just a mauling. Like, we had the great wrestling match first. This was just Ethan Allen getting the piss beat out of him and not staying down. Dijak was in his face screaming, why won't you stay down? And the fighting spirit sort of coming back to Ethan Allen, kicking Dijak in the leg, trying to take him down that way, like the big redwood, go for the base. I really, really liked that. And as Dijak had him look like he was dead to rights, Ethan Allen managed to roll him up for a shock win. Ethan Allen advances to the final. I love this match. I thought it was so well done. And Donovan Dijak destroys him after the match as well. He hits a Feast Your Eyes, and Ethan Allen goes into the final at a bit of a disadvantage because he's had the piss beat out of him. Yeah, really good angle. Sets up Ethan Allen really well for the finals. I was a massive fan of this, and I was a massive fan of heel Dijak as well. So for some reason, I'd convinced myself that the people in this match were the 4 people who got eliminated from the tournament. I don't know if I read that wrong, so I was like, why isn't Luke coming out? I feel like Luke would have come out to help Ethan Allen, and then I was like, oh, he's literally working Rev Pro at the moment, so he's not going to be here. I must have read something because I'm a silly boy. But yeah, 6-way scramble match. Kenny Williams took on Corey Zero, took on Dux, who took on Joe Blazer, who took on Kid Lykos, who took on Noah Walker. I really like this scramble match. I love that Burning Heart are doing these scramble matches because I think it's a really cool way to give sort of independent guys, people who are training, doing the seminars and stuff, give them a spotlight in front of a crowd, see what works, see what doesn't. I think it's a really cool idea, and one that I think should probably be utilised more, because they're really showing that, you know, characters can get over and people can get invested in these new up-and-coming talents. Who should we sign? Who should we not? Who should we book? Who should we not? And I think everyone in this match did really, really well. I like that they built the match around sort of Kid Lycos and Kenny Williams. They would get sections where they were just in the ring, sort of scrapping and squaring off, but you had the other people coming in. I will say probably my highlight was Joe Blazer. I think Joe Blazer has a great look and has a great vibe, and just the way they interact with the other wrestlers, it was really funny, and he really appealed to me. The Kid Lycos and Kenny Williams stuff I thought was really good, because that's a feud right there. Like Kid Lycos versus Kenny Williams, I'd love to see a singles match. I'd love to see them maybe have a number one contendership match or something like that. I think that is a way to go, is Kenny Williams versus Kid Lycos. And I really enjoyed this scramble. It was really good. Like Kenny Williams just being a dickhead, getting out the way of everyone, pushing some of the wrestlers into the others, and just being a really chicken S-word heel. It was really well done. And he ultimately picked up the win. I think that's the right decision as well, particularly if you need a new challenger for Haskins, who's not faced him, because Haskins is very much a good guy. He's very much a babyface. So I think having Kenny Williams maybe be his first challenger, it looks like, spoiler alert, we're going to get Wild Boar potentially going up against Haskins, which is going to be very interesting. Yeah, I really, really like the scramble match. It's such a cool way to elevate new guys. And yeah, I hope to see more from all of them in the future. This was a really solid scramble match. And then the last match before the interval was Wild Boar versus Mark Andrews. Now, Mark Andrews lost the Burning Hearts Pro Wrestling Tag Team titles the night before, so therefore the winner of this match gets a shot at any title of their choosing. Interesting. And I thought this match was really good. I like Mark Andrews. I like Wild Boar. Of course, they're going to have a good match. And they did have a great match. This was like sheer brute force of Wild Boar going up with the more slippery, the more agile Mark Andrews. And you got some really cool stuff in here. You got a sick, like, not really a sprint, like a diving cutter. He did like his Stun Dog Millionaire, which always looks good. And then Mark Andrews also hit like a leaping cutter, which looked amazing. And Mark Andrews worked over for a little bit here because he is the smaller guy. But, wow, this was like NXT UK. Is the best way I can put it. Like, I've watched these guys on NXT UK so much, and I was watching this, I was like, oh, this is weird. This is not computing. This is just like, this is so strange. But I loved it. It was a really, really good match, and Wild Boar won with his sick, like, Kevin Owens, sure. Like, Corinoir, I bloody love you. I think Wild Boar has the best package pile driver I've maybe ever seen, because he looked like he killed Mark Andrews with it. It was amazing. And yeah, Wild Boar picks up the win. Tag team title shot or world title shot? I'm not sure. I don't know if you want to do good guy versus good guy. I'm not sure on the status of Primate, but I know they were a tag team in NXT UK. So maybe they could go for the tag titles against the GYV. I'm not sure. I'd love either one. I just like seeing Wild Boar. I want to see more of Wild Boar. I was a big fan of this match. It was really, really good, and it was a great way to like cap off the first half of the show. Then we came back from the interval, and I do want to give a shout out as well here to Tony Wright, who was awesome on announcing duties as well. Really cool, really chill guy. Then we got our first match back. Dani Luna versus Holly Barlow. I thought this match was great. This match was really, really damn good. I really like Holly Barlow. I said it since she had the match against Lana Austin in Progress. I think there's something with Holly Barlow, like the way that she sort of moves, the way her character integrates. When she did the rolling thing and did like the, I'm not going to do it because this is like that thing. I don't know what you call it, but what I just did was nightmare fuel. So that, when she did that, I was like, she's got something here. There's like a quirkiness. There's a really cool character there. And she's really good in the ring. Pairing her with Dani Luna, it was like, Dani Luna was the stronger of the two, but like Holly Barlow trying to make the comeback and everything like that, she was really, really good at it. And there was a really sick spot where she's on the rope and she's cheering to the crowd, like, come on. And Dani Luna just grabs her and nails her with a German suplex. It was so cool. And I think there's definitely something here. This match was really good. I preferred this one to Dani Luna's match the night before. Like I said with this show, I think everything on this show took what worked from the last show and escalated it. Like, genuinely, I genuinely think that each match was better than the night before. And yeah, Dani Luna picked up the win. She's on a bit of an undefeated streak right now. Who's going to come in and beat her? Will she be potentially a first Burning Heart Pro Wrestling Women's Champion? Who knows? But this was a really solid match. I want to see more of Holly Barlow. I want to see more of Dani Luna. Yeah, I was a massive fan of this. Then we got probably my second favourite match of the night, and that is the Grizzled Young Veterans taking on the Models, Danny Hope and Joey Hayes. Now, I'm going to be honest, completely honest. I had no idea who the Models were. I have not seen the Models wrestle. I think they last wrestled, they said 18 months ago, I think Tony Wright said. So I've not seen anything about them. But this match, I thought, told such a good story about the Models trying to come back, trying to find that grit that the Grizzled Young Veterans want them to find. They want them to grit their teeth. They want them to come back, but they just don't have it in them. Or at least the Grizzled Young Vets don't think they've still got it in them. And it was about finding that killer instinct and finding what made them them after 18 months. It was so well done, particularly with Danny Hope. Danny Hope was a star in this match. He was getting beat down by the GYV. He was the one that sort of all the focus was on him trying to make a hot tag. The GYV were beating him down, trash talking him. It was really, really well done and really brutal to an extent. Like, the GYV, they get cheered all the time, but you can't forget they can be ruthless. They can be this gritty tag team who isolate people and just work a tag team match by isolating and decimating someone. And that's what they kind of did to Danny Hope. And Danny Hope was trying to get fired up, trying to find that. And it got to this really cool bit at the end where the GYV look like they're going to put him away. And they're stamping their feet. And then Joey Hayes comes in and it's like a standoff. It's like it's a standoff between the two teams. You've got the GYV in both corners and the Models in the middle of the ring. And they just start wailing. It's like a last stand, last gunslinger last stand. It was really well done, really well executed. The GYV did pick up the win. They pinned Danny Hope after just relentlessly beating him down and hitting their sort of spinning kick with the clothesline. I can't remember what it's called. I want to say it's called the Grit Your Teeth, but I don't know if it is because they always say grit your teeth before they do it. And then they did that and they put him away. It was really cool. We got a sign of respect afterwards. I hope we see more of the Models. I don't know if this is just a one-time thing, but I'm so interested to go back and see the Models' back catalogue, see what kind of stuff they were doing before this match. But I was a massive fan of this. I thought this told such a compelling story and it was captivating to watch. I think this is the best Grizzled Young Vets match that I've seen since they left WWE. They've had really great ones against Sunshine Machine, against Lycos Gym. The one against FSU was really good as well. But I genuinely think this is my favourite match that I've seen the GYV have since leaving. And yeah, I was a massive fan of this. They retained the titles as well. This was a tag title match. They retained. We'll see what's next for them. Tag teams on the horizon. I don't know. I don't know who's next for the GYV. Who will step up and grit their teeth. But I'm excited to see who it is. I think potentially rematch down the line. Hopefully. And then we had the final. We had the final of the Burning Heart Pro Wrestling World Championship Tournament as Mark Haskins took on Ethan Allen. I think everyone in the building wanted Ethan Allen to win. Everyone was rooting for Ethan Allen. He came out, he was sort of a bit slouched, he was a bit disheartened after the beatdown from Dijak. And Mark Haskins, who looks like he could do this all day, fresh as a daisy, he's ready for it. And they have the stare down, they have the title raised aloft. It was a really cool moment to be a part of, and they had a cracking match. This was really, really good. This was Mark Haskins just not being able to put away Ethan Allen, and Ethan Allen just not dying. He's showing that Northwest strong throughout. It was amazing. It was one of the best BritWres main events I've seen in a long time. Like, I really loved it because Ethan Allen is just so good at selling everything. He was getting beaten pillar to post in this match as well, but he was making more of a comeback. He wasn't up against, like, for lack of a better term, the brick shithouse that is Donovan Dijak. He was up against someone who's more his size, so he was adjusting to that. He was trying to roll Mark Haskins up into submissions and get roll-ups, but Mark Haskins pretty much had a counter to everything. There was this really cool sequence where he rolls him up and rakes him back into a massive sharpshooter, and Ethan Allen is just screaming as he's crawling towards the rope, trying to get the rope break, nearly gets pulled back, and that is when Mark Haskins wrenches back even further, but he manages to escape that. But Mark Haskins picks up the win. He eventually defeats Ethan Allen after what I think it was like half an hour, maybe like 25 minutes. After a grueling 25 minutes, manages to defeat him, raises the title aloft, and offers big respect to Ethan Allen for Ethan Allen being able to hang as well as he did. And I think this sets up Ethan Allen as a top star in Burning Hearts. He gave him a huge, like, in character promo talking about how he's the face of, you know, he could potentially vie for the Burning Hearts World Championship again. I loved it. It was such a cool way to set up a new contender. The Ethan Allen title chase in Burning Hearts is going to be something to watch. It's going to be a really cool story because when he eventually gets that belt, it's going to be so satisfying because he made it so far in this tournament. And I think Mark Haskins is the right guy. He's absolutely the right guy to carry this company, to do the interviews and stuff like that. He's one of the most underrated stars on the planet right now. He's so good. And it capped off what I genuinely thought was like one of the best wrestling shows I've been to in a long time. This weekend was insanity in the best possible way. Highlights for me, seeing Donovan Dijak, this main event, the opening match between Trent and Haskins. Haskins has just been, like, he absolutely deserved it. Like, you think about the matches that he had. His match with Lycos was amazing. The matches he had here were amazing. He's absolutely crushed it this weekend. So big props to Mark and Vic Haskins for just being a great duo and being awesome. So, yeah, overall I'd give this... do I do it? I don't usually do ratings, so it's not really like I'm building up to anything. But as of now, and maybe it's the live effect, I'm going to go 5 out of 5. I'm going to go 5 out of 5. I thought this was absolutely sensational pro wrestling. I really want to watch it back and watch the match as well, see how they translate over to physical media and the big screen. So yeah, 5 out of 5 for this show for me. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Were you a fan? Were you not? Let me know if you were there. Let me know and I'll try to apply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support and have a nice day.